Hello, this is Noelle from Team Justin Hill. We want to welcome you to Justin's podcast. Thanks for downloading and subscribing. We hope that you will be encouraged, inspired, and empowered throughout your career, business, relationships, your entire life. Please email us and tell us how this podcast has helped you at mail@justinhillofficial.com or connect with us through Justin's website, justinhillofficial.com, or on social media. Now, let's join Justin for some truth.
Hello and welcome. Thank you for joining us today as we are coming to you from the sunny, bright, and very, very blessed Third Floor Record Studios. Let's get started with our top of the day truth. I am loved and I am worthy. Let's say it again. I am loved and I am worthy. So let's get right down to business today, shall we? Do you know someone with a bad attitude? Sure you do. I do. I know I do. I scroll through my social media just for a minute and a half and there's somebody with a bad attitude, right? The other day, I saw someone complaining on Twitter. Imagine that. And it was kind of a passive-aggressive complaining, too. And in this case, it was a small business owner that I know that was complaining about competition. You know, I get it. Competition is no fun. You've got to remember that there's no such thing as competition if you're doing what you're meant to do. So I immediately discounted it just based on that. Competition is meaningless. But then I read in the post further, and I just saw how ugly it was. Just not good. And so I read the post and I thought to myself, wow, you really need to check your attitude. And I know this person, and I know them well enough in real life. I know them beyond social media, and I know them well enough to know what they were thinking, which was, this is my opinion, and I can have an opinion. And that's true. You can. But if you think that sharing your negative opinion and having that bad attitude and putting it forth in a public forum actually helps you, especially if you're a business owner, you should think again. If you really need to share your opinion and you don't want it to hurt you so much, I would suggest that you share it in a non-public forum. Drive to the middle of the woods, all the way to the middle of the woods, and tell your opinion to a tree. Seriously. Because that way it's not going to cause you so much problem in a public forum. Here's what a bad attitude does. It limits you. It limits your business, your family, everything. And in this case, with this business owner and the bad attitude I saw on Twitter, what it did for me was really just turned me off to doing business at their place of business. And I know they're not a bad person, and maybe they were just having a bad day. But judging by everything I see on social media from this person, they have a bad day a lot. And this bad attitude just seems to come out of them all the time. They need to stop it. You need to stop it if you have a bad attitude. You are only hurting yourself and your business and your family. Now, I myself have had to learn the lessons of having a bad attitude. I am not immune from this. I've had to learn to keep my mouth shut a lot. I always joke that my wife is a great diplomat, and she is, because she's taught me how to keep my mouth shut. She really has. She's taught me mostly by example, and I've caught on. It took 10 years, but I caught on. That this negative, sad, pouty, bad attitude that I once had wasn't good for anyone. And it definitely wasn't helping our family and our business. So over the course of time, I learned that I had to think before I spoke. I had to check my attitude. So now I actively work to turn my thinking around and put things in a positive light. And like I said, I've worked for years on this. It's not always easy, and still to this day, sometimes I cannot muster a positive thought. So I just don't say anything at all. And that's a very valuable thing to remember. Sometimes you don't need to say anything at all. Stay in your own lane, do your own thing. So next time that you are confronted with a moment when you want to spew some negative junk out of your mouth, or you want to act in a way that is not positive, that is negative and shows a bad attitude, I want to challenge you to think. Remember that you have a choice. I want you to check your attitude. I want you to ask yourself, does my attitude right now really stink? Is what I'm thinking, or what I'm about to say, or how I'm acting, does it promote success in my life? Or do people with happy, fulfilled, and abundant lives think like this? Would they act in this way? Or is my bad attitude affecting the success of my business, my life, and my family? Is it limiting me? And if you find out through those questions that you may have an attitude problem, I want you to turn it around. I want you to find a positive way to think, a positive way to speak, and a positive way to act. And if you just can't do that all the time, and that's okay, just don't say anything at all. Because chances are your opinion is not something that anyone really wants to hear. So remember my advice. If you really have an opinion to share and you think it's that important to get it out of your mouth, drive into the woods and tell a tree. Now I know, all joking aside, this is not easy. It's not an easy thing to do. Attitude becomes a habit, and a bad attitude is a bad habit. And it takes a while, a lot of practice to break this. Like I said, it took me 10 years or more, and I still struggle with it at times. But I promise you this, attitude really is everything. You can do this. You can change your bad attitude. So check your attitude, love people, and you will be blessed. Thanks for listening.
We do want to thank you for listening today. We trust you have been encouraged and inspired. Visit JustinHillOfficial.com for more resources, including our daily truth quotes, books, and more. And don't forget to subscribe to this podcast. Be blessed.